Hi, my name is Lynn Leusch, Training Manager with Fun Stamper's Journey, and welcome to part 2 of our 3-part series in using our scoreboard. We're so excited to be able to share this fun tool with you, and I wanted to walk you through how to create a variety of projects that you'll be so happy to share with your friends and family. So in our first video, I shared with you how to create using just the scoreboard by scoring your card bases, and I shared with you how to create boxes. In this particular video, I'm going to walk you through how to create envelopes. So, as I mentioned earlier in the previous video, on the back side of our scoreboard, we have nicely tucked away our envelope maker, which is a triangle, and we also have our score tool. So I'm going to be using those. Now, traditionally, for those who might be familiar with scoreboards, they might seem very similar, but I'm really excited about ours because of the unique little feature that creates the envelopes here. I kind of call it our magic sauce here. So a lot of times in the traditional scoreboards, you might find that you would place your triangle here in the corner, and then you cut your paper to size, and then you kind of set it under there, and as you can see, a little bit of my paper's hanging over it. Might hang over here, depending on the size of the envelope I'm making. Well, in this particular scoreboard, you can certainly do that, but I'm going to share with you that I can easily just bring this all the way over to the side. So if you can see that little corner right there, it's sticking out. I'm just going to push it over until it locks in place, because it has that little lip on the other side, locks in place. And as you can see here, my paper now can easily go up and down and not be hindered by the top of the scoreboard. So to create an envelope, what I want to do is I'll first of all have to decide what size envelope I want to create, and the instructions for envelope making is at the very top here. And it has a variety of different sizes to select from. So our traditional envelope here in the States is an A2 size envelope. So I see here that an A2 size envelope, of course, fits a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 envelope, and I need a piece of paper or a cardstock cut down to 8 by 8, and I have, it's called here a scale mark. I have a scale mark of 3 1/2. That's all I need to know. I don't need any more math. I don't need double digits or anything. This little magic tool is going to do all the creation for me. So I'm going to take the 3 1/2, and that's what I'm going to work with. So I take my 8 by 8 paper that I've pre-cut, and I'm going to bring it over to my triangle here, and I am going to go to my 3 1/2 mark right here on this little side ruler on the triangle. As you can see, it says 3 1/2 right there, right? It's the only score number I need to know. Again, this little tool is going to do the magic for me. So it says right here, score. So there's a little notch here, and what I want to do, again, I want to break down those fibers. I want to score it. So I'm going to push down as I scroll down and score. I can do it a couple times just to make sure I break down those fibers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my paper clockwise, and I'm not going to go to that 3 1/2 mark because I've already done, the system has already marked it for me. What I'm going to do now is this little guy right here. This is the little magic piece right here. I'm going to use that as my scale. So I'm going to take my score mark that I did before. I'm going to line it up right there. Okay, and I'm going to, again, I'm going to score. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees again. I'm going to place that score mark that I created earlier. I'm going to line it up right along that little area and score again. One more time, I'm going to line it up with that little score mark right there. Again, I only needed that first score mark to make this happen, and the triangle did all the work for me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm getting ready to put my envelope together. Now what I've done because you can somewhat see this, but I wanted to make it a little easier. So I've created another one that has the same score lines on it. And as you can see, this is what I've created. Now, for traditional envelope making, what I'm going to do is I would just cut out each of these little triangles, and I go to each little section. However, I have a fun tool I want to introduce to you as well, and you're going to absolutely love this. This is our corner rounder. But wait, it's not just a corner rounder, it's also a notch maker, and it's designed specifically to help you with your envelopes. So of course, it works beautifully, and I'll show you as a corner rounder. Okay, I just push the edge of my cardstock there, anything I want to corner round, push down, and I have that beautiful, perfectly done rounded corner. And this is a little bit of piece of paper right there. But remember, I told you that this little tool is two tools in one. This is my notch maker, and to make it easier for you to see, I'm going to show you the one with the pencil drawing. Is I'm going to push the paper and butt it against the edge here, okay? And I'm going to align, see my mark there? I'm going to align that with those little notch areas. I'm going to push down, and I've created the same look, and it's rounded. It makes it so cool and it looks so fun, okay? And then of course I would go all the way around my item, but I want to go ahead and do this one because I don't want those drawing lines on there. So I'm just using my notcher. Again, if you don't have the corner rounder, you can easily just snip that little X right there, okay? So then what I can do, of course, to make a more finished look, I'm going to use the corner rounder on all the edges. Okay, and that's all the little extras right there. Push those out of the way. And again, as we talked about in our previous video, is when I do a score line, that's breaking down the fibers, I want to fold away from the valley. That's the valley area. So I'm going to fold away from it. And I'm going to crease all of the edges. Oops, I missed one. I'll just use my little handy dandy tool here. Oops. All right, almost done. Got one more here. Now, what we do is we fold in our side flaps. We fold in our bottom right here. Now, we've got a choice here. Now, this looks nice. I actually kind of like this look right here, but some individuals might like having that even right there. So what we can easily do is we just take a little pencil, and I'll just grab something that I have here and just make a little mark right there. I'm going to pull over my cutter, and I'm going to just cut along those little lines right there. Like I said, you could leave it that way if you like, but if you wanted a little bit, maybe a different look, maybe more finished, however, what that means to you, then what you have is you have that finished look right there. So then what I'm going to do, what I really like about this, the way that it's created, is there's a lot of layover cardstock that you have plenty of area here to add your adhesive, okay? So I'm going to add my adhesive right along the edge. I'm going to fold it up. And I am ready to slip my card right in there, fold it over, address it to my loved one, and they're going to be so happy that they've received the beautiful handmade card. But then I can also brag that I handmade their envelope as well. But you know, just a little something I want to share with you that I've created that is fun is when I'm creating my envelopes, I like to create all the envelopes. I'm a visual person, so what I've done is I've created all the envelopes. In this particular one, I've created them with copy paper. Now, if you're going to use copy paper, if you want to mail this in the mail, of course, if you use cardstock like I created there, there's going to be an additional weight to that. So, you know, you want to kind of consider that. But if you're going to use copy paper, you know, I would probably get maybe a heavier weight paper so that it just mails easily, okay? But this is just plain copy paper. And what I've done is I went through my envelope maker instructions here, and I've created all the envelopes that I can create because copy paper only comes in 8.5 by 11. So I created all the envelopes that I can create using that type of paper. And then what I like to do, again, I'm a visual person. I can certainly have access and I can read this, and you can certainly do that. But being a visual person, I think it's kind of fun to go ahead and create all the envelopes. There's my A2 envelope. I took all the instructions off of the little triangle there. I put the card size, the paper size that I need to cut, and then that initial mark. And I've done that on every single one of those particular envelopes. So I have a fun little visual for me to see. Now, I sometimes like to do things even one step further, is I wanted to create larger ones, and I like the colors of our color palette. So I created something very similar, and I created the same thing using our cardstock, and of course it goes up to 12 by 12. And so this is the largest card envelope I can make using a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And again, I did the same thing. This will fit an A10 card. The card itself is 6 by 9.5. The paper is 12 by 12. And my initial score mark is 4 by 4 3/4. And again, I then let the envelope maker, the envelope triangle, do the magic. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. I think our envelope maker, our scoreboard is so awesome, and I'm excited to be able to share it with you. Now I have one more tip and trick that I want to share with you of what our envelope maker can be, our scoreboard can create. So go ahead and make sure that you stop by again so that I can share with you how to create envelope boxes. So have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. Talk to you later.